On Global TV AM News, Nigerian launches digitalization of public schools initiative. In business, domestic debt service hit 1.7 trillion naira in second quarter 2025. On the foreign scene, Madagascar soldiers join protesters as unrest deepens in sports. Super Eagles Benin Chates arrive Uyo ahead of World Cup decider. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to AM News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Sadia Yakubu. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channels 365 and StarTimes channels 276. The Federal Ministry of Education has launched the Digitalization of Public Schools initiative and distributed interactive smart boards to public schools nationwide, signaling a major leap towards modern learning. Speaking at the flag off held at Queen's College, Lagos, Minister of Education Dr. Maruf Alausa said the shift from chalkboards to smart boards marks Nigerians' readiness to embrace dynamic technology-driven classrooms that ensure quality education for every child. He added that the initiative, supported by data and ICT-driven federal programs, will strengthen digital infrastructure, teacher training, and broadband access across the states. Chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Foreign Affairs, Wole Oki, has dismissed claims that his meeting with the Israeli ambassador to Nigeria, Michael Freeman, signaled support for Israel against Palestine. Oki said his stance remains fully aligned with Nigerians' long-standing support for a two-state solution to the Israel-Palestine conflict, describing recent reports and social media commentary in Nigeria as a deliberate attempt to misrepresent his office. In a statement by his senior legislative aide, Tunji Iyanda, the lawmaker representing Obokun Oriade Federal Constituency of Ogun State reaffirmed his commitment to Nigeria's foreign policy principles and the pursuit of peace coexistence between Israel and Palestine. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has joined the global community to commemorate the International Day of the Girl Child, reaffirming Nigerians' commitment to empowering girls as agents of change, marking the 2025 theme, The Girl I Am, The Change I Lead. Girls on front line of crisis. Lawmakers urge the federal government to prioritize education and skills development for girls, particularly those affected by conflicts and emergencies. Anete Patrick reports.
Coming under a motion of urgent public importance by Kafilat Ogbara, APC Lagos State, lawmakers emphasize that empowering girls is not only vital to their own future, but the peace, progress, and sustainable development of the nation. The House therefore called on security agencies to strengthen protection mechanism against violence and exploitation, while mandating the Ministry of Women Affairs to create safe spaces and provide mental health support for girls. The Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development was directed to ensure compliance with these resolutions.
Call on the federal government to prioritize education and skills development for girls, especially in crisis-affected communities.
In another development, the House resolves to set up an ad hoc committee composed of members drawn from the committees on petroleum resources, upstream and downstream, public accounts, anti-corruption, finance, and legislative compliance to investigate funds appropriated and disbursed for the rehabilitation of the Port Harcourt, Warri, and Kaduna refineries between 2010 and 2024.
To investigate all funds appropriated and disbursed for the rehabilitation of the Port Harcourt, Warri, and Kaduna refineries between the year 2010 and 2024.
The House of Representatives has passed for second reading a bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended to provide for the creation of Ibadan State with Ibadan as the proposed capital city and for related matters, HB 2439. The motion was moved on the floor of the House by the member representing Ibadan Northeast, Ibadan Southeast Federal Constituency, Oyo State, Adigun Adekunle.
In Ibadan alone today, Mr. Speaker, we have about 6 million plus living in Ibadan. Most people live in Ibadan and work in Lagos every day. Ibadan deserve their own state.
The House, however, adjourned proceeding to Tuesday, 14th October after considering 4 bills for third reading. Aniye Patrick, reporting for Global TV.
The Federal Ministry of Health says Nigeria is making steady progress in tackling mental health disorders despite the global surge in cases affecting more than 1 billion people worldwide. The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Development, Professor Muhammad Ali Pati, stated this during a press briefing in Abuja to mark this year's World Mental Health Day. Zahra Nasir has details.
World Mental Health Day, commemorated every 10th of October, focuses on promoting global awareness, education, and advocacy against the stigma surrounding mental health challenges. Represented by the Director of Human Resources in the Ministry, Tashoma Dafeta, the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Development emphasized that mental health is a fundamental human right. She urged healthcare professionals and civil society groups to continue raising awareness and offering social support to those affected.
Let us pledge to build a society where mental health is prioritized, stigma is eliminated, and care is accessible to all.
The National Coordinator for Mental Health in the Ministry, Dr. Ojo Tunde, said the government is intensifying awareness campaigns, especially among young people, to discourage substance abuse, one of the leading causes of mental health disorders.
But one of the biggest problems about mental health is stigma and discrimination that is attached to it.
The event brought about international partners, mental health advocates, and representatives of the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, all reaffirming their commitment to improving mental health services across Nigeria. Zahra Nasir, reporting for Global TV News.
The Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare has intensified effort to combat child malnutrition in Nigeria in collaboration with United Nations Children Education Fund and Evidence Action. The Director and Head of Nutrition Department, Ladidi Ayebusi, explained that the ministry has commenced the first batch of national training for trainers on the small quantity lipid-based nutrient supplement aimed at improving child nutrition and reducing mortality rates among children under 5. Again, Zahra Nasir has details.
The Director and Head of the Nutrition Department, Ladidi Bako Ayekbusi, explained that the initiative is designed to equip health workers with the necessary knowledge and skills to address micronutrient deficiencies across the country.
What we're doing today is to train the key providers from the states on how to administer this supplement to children. So we have in the hall the first batch of 20 states. These are the 20 states that have high burden of malnutrition.
The country director of Evidence Action, Topia Ogumbi, reaffirmed the organization's commitment to supporting the Federal Ministry of Health in implementing nutrition and other health interventions.
The government of Nigeria has actually invested a lot in, combating the crisis of malnutrition, undernutrition in Nigeria. The Federal Ministry of Health, in partnership with organizations like mine, Evidence Action, and UNICEF, and a host of other organizations, have invested in procuring SQNLS.
The training, which began with participants from 20 states with high malnutrition rates, will continue next month with a second batch for the remaining 16 states. With this initiative, the federal government and its partners hope to build a stronger front-line response against malnutrition and ensure healthier growth for Nigerian children. Zahra Nasir, reporting for Global TV News.
As climate change continues to threaten lives and livelihoods across Nigeria, experts and academics are calling for urgent action to strengthen environmental governance and promote sustainable development. This appeal was made at the 3rd Annual Hybrid International Conference at the Federal University, Gusau, Zamfara State. Samuel Odi has the details.
Declaring the conference open, the Vice-Chancellor of the Federal University, Gusau, Professor Mauzo Abubakar, represented by the Deputy Vice-Chancellor Academics, Dr. Aliyu Usman, says digitalization has become a global reality that cannot be ignored, especially with the growing influence of artificial intelligence.
Digitalization here is the integration of technology into our various operations.
The conference, organized by the Faculty of Management and Social Science, brought together academics, government officials, traditional rulers, and students to discuss the theme Digitalization, Environment, and Development Challenges in Nigeria. The chairman of the planning committee, Dr. Andowase Abagba, said the event aims to generate research-driven solutions that balance national development and ecological prevention.
Comes in because environmental issues are some of the greatest challenges we are facing today. Being a climate change, being a flooding, which is in turn also linked to that, being a conflict, being issues around mining, and so on and so forth.
Delivering the lead paper, Professor Aminu Abdullahi of Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto, highlighted poor environmental governance, low community involvement, and inadequate funding as key issues worsening Nigeria's environmental crisis.
We should strengthen governance and accountability, promoting transparency in environmental governance, establishing framework for transparency and accountability in management of resources, combating corruption, implementing measures to reduce corruption in environmental management. And
the Emir of Kauda Namoda, Sanusi Ahmed Asha, stressed the need for effective policies and stronger community participation to mitigate the effectiveness of climate change and protect the environment for future generations.
The air pollution or pollution. Here in Zamfara, our pollution is contaminated water because some are mixed with the lead, and up to now we do not do anything about it.
Participants resolved to promote sustainable digital practice, enhance environmental research, and advocate for stronger policy framework to protect Nigerians' ecosystem. Samuel Odi for Global Television News.
The National Youth Council of Nigeria has taken to the streets in protest against the withdrawal of its registration by Corporate Affairs Commission. The council's leadership described the move as unlawful, politically motivated, and a direct attack on Nigerian youth. Our correspondent completes the story. National Youth Council of Nigeria National President Sokobo Sarah Igbe Sokobo commended the action, stating that the withdrawal of the certificate of the NYCN came despite an existing court ruling delivered by Justice Okoro at the Federal High Court, a matter now on the appeal in Abuja. Sokobo argued that the commission acted prematurely and unlawfully, interfering with a judicial process that has not yet been concluded. He accused the Registrar General Ishaq Magaji of orchestrating the move and described it as a clear abuse of office. According to Sokobo, Magaji's conduct demonstrates incompetence and a disregard for the rule of law.
By the provision of the law, and we will be able to bring it to their notice. And here the fact speaks by itself without even mixing words. And as we speak with you, the commission has appealed to us on the current issues that is happening for us to have peace and dialogue and the way forward. And which we have also assured the commission that ordinarily we are not supposed to live here. But there was a superior court that came, said all issues will be resolved. Based on that,
the NYCN president warned that actions of the Registrar General's office not only threatened the legal standing of the council, but also endangered national security by targeting a body that represents millions of Nigerian youth. The council therefore called on President Bola Tinubu to immediately remove Ishaq Magaji and urged the Senate President and National Security Advisors to step in and restore order.
Here is 1 month protest until the Registrar General is being sacked and removed. But the commission has appealed to us to cease fire. And
investigations carried out by CAC, and the trustees have been suspended for now. and there's an interim management in place. So that's the position right now. So
the protesters vowed to continue their demonstration at the CAC headquarters for the next 1 month or until their demands are met. As the standoff continues, all eyes are on the government and the Corporate Affairs Commission to resolve the crisis in a way that preserves the integrity of the nation youth movement. Sadia Yakubu, reporting for Global Television News. You're watching the live broadcast of AM News. When AM News returns, Madagascar soldiers join protest as unrest deepens. Details coming shortly, plus business and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back from that short break. In business, Nigerian's Debt Management Office says the country spent over 1.7 trillion naira on domestic debt service between April and June 2025, reflecting sustained pressure from interest and principal payment. Data shows that over 1.6 trillion naira went to interest payment, while 20 billion naira covered principal payments, with April recording the highest outlay at over 805 billion naira. The high cost of grocery Nigerian market, as against the sharp decrease of farmer produce, has remained a source of concern to farmers and dealers of farm produce. In this special report, Global Television Benue correspondent Felicity Duri examines the situation.
Of petroleum subsidy at the inception of the present administration came with a hike has affected their daily earnings as they share with Global Television News the experience of coping with the current economic hardship.
Our market is not steady. Like this bag now, last year is higher than this year. There are some bags where we buy high last year, they take on than this year. The thieves cannot balance one, say that this thing price will be continue to stay steady. No price will not stay steady.
They sell this akpu here at a very cheap rate. As the children don't resume school now, I go to buy the school bag, I no fee buy am because the price is too big.
Some vendors also expressed concern that the proposed fossil fuel tax under the new tax law projected to raise petrol prices about 45 naira per litre beginning January 2026 could further deepen the economic hardship faced by ordinary Nigerians and the final nail to the coffin.
This I be old woman carrying swan being like 2 mudu. If I go engine now, they will grant like 500 naira. If I come to say my money is not back, the fuel is too much. Just even to go to Guruku, I'm trekking.
Now we be 3,000 like this. Before I go finish, I go carry 3 bags inside. As I carry, so now the capital they go.
Traders are urging the government to intervene and stabilize the market to reduce the hardship faced by citizens, hoping that prompt action will restore price balance and make goods more affordable nationwide. In Makudi, Felicity Ndere reporting for Global Television News.
Tricycle is one of the fastest and easiest means of transportation in Kano, known to be operated only by men riders. However, the narrative is changing as women are gradually taking over tricycles operation, carrying only female and children passengers. In this special report, Global Television's correspondent Idris Jibril visited Matazala Entrepreneurs, where women are trained on how to ride for themselves. His reports.
For almost 6 months, Amina Hassan has been coming to this station where she was trained to become a tricycle rider. Amina now owns a tricycle and she rides through the busiest streets of Kano to earn a living. With 4 children and other dependents, Amina says she can now conveniently take care of her family even though she rides on hire purchase.
The impact of witness economic change when I started riding the tricycle, because I've gained more extra income which I use it to take care of my family, my children's need, my mother and other relatives.
In Kano, culture and tradition plays an important role, especially among women. Hajia Hawa'u Ahmad is responsible for bringing together these women to become self-reliant through riding tricycle.
Women are left behind in the sector of transportation. Virtually in Kano, not only in Kano, in northern states, women doesn't participate with this kind of business. So I see no reason why we should not be involved in this kind of businesses. So I decided to call upon women to come out. Those that are interested in riding, they should come so that we will make access to them to acquire their keke napep for them to do as a business.
She says there are currently 100 women who are riding through the streets of Kano, effectively making life easier for them.
I was even thinking over, can these women really make it? Can they be able to do with the all passengers? You know, Kano is a busy state, but to God being Him the glory, these women are really making it. But we have undergone so many training for them to get rid of everything that they will encounter.
Although lots of women have now become riders of tricycle, but the inability of government to intervene is threatening the effectiveness of these women to pursue their dreams to the logical conclusions. From Kano, Idris Jibrin, Global Television News.
On the foreign scene, groups of Madagascar soldiers have joined thousands of protesters in the capital, declaring they would refuse any orders to shoot at civilians as demonstrations against president government intensify. The youth-led movement, sparked by anger over worsening power and water shortage, has grown into a nationwide demand for reforms, with soldiers waving national flags and urging colleagues across the country to stand with the people rather than suppress them. Amid mounting tension, the defense minister appealed for calm and dialogue, while the United Nations condemned the excessive use of force by security agents after several protesters were injured in clashes earlier in the week. And in sports, the Super Eagles and Benin have arrived in Uyo ahead of Tuesday decisive 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium. Nigeria revived their qualification hopes with a 2-1 over Seto, but must now beat Benin by 2 clear goals and hope South African flatters against Rwanda to secure the group's authentic ticket. Officials confirmed that both teams arrived on Saturday, their chartered flights as excitement builds for what could be Nigerian defending match in the qualifiers. As Global Television AM News comes to an end, let's take a look at our top stories. On Global Television AM News, the Federal Ministry of Education has launched the Digitalization of Public Schools initiative and distributed interactive smart boards to public schools nationwide. In business, Nigeria's Debt Management Office says the country spent over 1.7 trillion on domestic debt service between April and June 2025, reflecting sustained pressure from interest and principal payments. On the foreign scene, groups of Madagascar soldiers have joined thousands of protesters in the capital, declaring they would refuse any orders to shoot at civilians as demonstrations against president's government intensified. In sports, the Super Eagles and Benin have arrived in Uyo ahead of Tuesday's decisive 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium. That's it on Global TV AM News. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channels 365 and StarTimes channels 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV NG. I am Sadia Yakubu saying thank you for watching.